Hey, what's going on there, folks? It's Dan here with Herbert T Outdoors, and I'm out here in the woods doing a little bit of camping, right next to a village over here. Um, if you saw the thumbnail, you'll see the little makeshift tent brigade they got going on over there. But see, yeah, we're live. Oh, got a thumbs up already. That's awesome. Roscoe Chicken and Waffles. Hey, God bless you too, brother. Hey, Ken, good to see you. Yeah, I'm out here doing my camping thing as usual. I'm out here just about every single weekend, and had a bit of rain last night. Uh, Lasted until probably about 8 o'clock this morning, so had to basically wait for breakfast before I could cook it. So, but see, enjoyed it. Yeah, yeah, appreciate that. I am enjoying it. Oh, nice. Got a largemouth and brim. Hey, Nancy. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming. I'll just give a few more minutes here. Hopefully that's not my neighbors coming back. I believe that's one of their vehicles. We shall see. Nope, they drove on past. Sweet. Hey, guys. Ozark's Great Adventures and 210 on the road. Hey, Mike. How's it going? Good to see you. So I'm going to flip the camera around here, try to keep it low. I think they still have somebody there in the camp. I'm going to flip it around so you can see what I have to deal with. Over here, that's a campsite, and their drive is up there. Okay. Now, if we come over here, there's actually two tents right there, and that is not a campsite. The drive is over there, going back up into there, where they have another tent, and the cooler's in the way, but back off in the woods, for some reason, they've got a tarp set up in there too. I don't know, not sure what that's for. And as you can see, there's another green tent way on the other side there. There's probably about, oh, I'd say 12 to 15 of them. Some of them come and go, but that's my purple rain for the weekend. They showed up on Saturday morning at 4 a.m. Yeah, take care of that. There we go. Yeah, purple rain. But yeah, they showed up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it took them 2 hours to set up. Of course, this tent here closest to me, the A-frame, they are they sat there and just rattled their tent like crazy for probably a good 20 minutes. I don't think they had a clue how to set it up. But yeah, that was, and of course, then after they went to sleep, you know, after they got through setting up their tents, they went straight to sleep, and then snoring started. So basically, I had to get up. And I debated, oh, is that going to make this weekend a wash or what? But I decided to tough it out. And they haven't been too terribly bad. I know yesterday I wanted to do some videos, but of course I couldn't because they decided to play some music, some good old fashioned accordion music. And I thought about, I could always move to a different spot in the campground, but uh, and I'm going to show you here. I'll swing back over here. As you guys can see, it's pretty barren. There wasn't a lot of there were several campers back over there. It's been pretty busy here at the campground this weekend, but it is a holiday, Memorial Day weekend, and thanks for those that have provided their services to the country. We appreciate that. And I also had, like I said, I could have gone over there, but the further you go over there, the worse your cell reception is. So hopefully I haven't lost any. Okay, so everybody's still there. Oh yeah, appreciate that, Randy. Yeah, everybody, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up. It really kind of warms my heart and gives me a good feeling. And I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out with me here in the big woods. I call it the tall and uncut because I like to read a lot of Western novels, and they refer to it as the tall and uncut. Uh, the the gunfighters and the uh, trappers and all that, the way they used to go out in the great outdoors, and boy, those are the real survivalists. Um, I think about how little equipment they had, yet they went out into the wilderness and survived. You know, they didn't have a Walmart down the road they could run and pick up supplies or anything like that. No Costco's, none of those big stores, no Bass Pro Shop, none of that. And they didn't have uh, tents. They might have had some form of like a canvas tarp, but still, nonetheless, uh, it was tough on them. And those were the real rugged survivalists, in my opinion. Especially the ones that, like the trappers that would go out and they'd be gone, you know, 6 months, a year, whatever, and then come back and, uh, they trade their furs and everything. That was their way of life. And yeah, it was pretty brutal. But yeah, I've just been, I've cut up some firewood here. Because of the rain last night, I've got it underneath the tarp here. I think we're supposed to get some later on. Um, I'm paid up through tomorrow, but if it's gonna be a rainy day tomorrow, I might just stay an extra day just so that I don't have to pack up wet gear, tents, and everything. But it's looking like I'll probably be able to get out before any rains. But you never can tell around here, and the weathermen can't predict for nothing. Um, would I've liked to have been born in that era? That's a good question. Um, I think it would have been cool to do the hunting and the trapping and things like that. But as far as You know, I'd miss uh, having a lot of the luxuries that, you know, of course, I've gotten too accustomed to the uh, Velveeta cheese and things like that. And, you know, just being able to go get the foods that I enjoy. And obviously, by my big belly here, you know, I enjoy the food. But hey, two guys, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. We're just hanging out here in the camp. I'll give you another quick shot of the village next door. That's them over there. And you don't see a lot of vehicles over there because they've all gone fishing. And they took they had a little wagon, one of those collapsible wagons. They had it all loaded up with a barbecue grill and fishing poles and tackle boxes and everything. So I imagine they're going to be gone for a little bit. But yeah, that was my purple rain. And I thought last night was going to be a tough night because they, up up to about 10 o'clock, they were getting kind of rowdy, but they quickly shut it down. I was surprised. But other than that, though, the weather out here, the temperature wise, has been absolutely perfect. I mean, we're talking, you know, I mean, I've got a shirt on underneath this light hoodie. Uh, Yesterday morning, I wore my coat for a little while, but it wasn't too bad. But it's a perfect weekend for, you know, doing the camping. And I wish that I had more people that were in this area to, you know, maybe go out and go camping with, because, uh, you know, I always go by myself. I've never been in this campground or here where I live. Uh, you know, I have nobody in this area that's into this kind of stuff. So it's a little on the brutal side, but then again, hey, you know, peace and quiet. You get to listen to all the birds and the occasional annoying whippoorwill that goes on for 3 hours. Got squirrels coming through, deer. Uh, don't have any raccoons. I have not seen a single raccoon. Um, haven't seen any possums. What's for supper? I have not decided yet. Uh, I got me some uh, can of chili, and I got me some eye steaks. So I was thinking about making chili dogs. I mean, chili eye steaks. Um, then again, I did have a big lunch. I had me some beef stew, and I made up some rice with it. So basically, I get a can of like the Danny Moore beef stew, and heat that up, and then I heat up some rice with it, and put that beef stew over the rice. Because the little cans are just, I mean, I'm a big boy. I gotta, I gotta eat, you know. And so I make up some rice, put the beef stew over the top of it, which gives it, you know, more bulk. So got rained out, hail and bad thunderstorms. Oh, that's perfect for getting a good video. Yeah, but it does suck. I I know it was it wasn't last weekend. I think it was the weekend before that. Um, the first 2 days I was out here, we had uh, the first, well, basically the first day and then into night and then early morning had high winds. It was about 45-mile-an-hour winds. The tent took a little bit of a beating, but it held up. The tarp didn't even suffer at all. I got a pretty good tarp set up here. I've got ridgeline. Uh, as you can see, I've got the telescopic poles, and then I got it, the guidelines down to the ground, but it holds it pretty solid. It's I've been through some heavy pouring down rain to where, yeah. Let me see if I can flip you and show you guys it. Okay, so if you can see, there's the tent over there, and you can kind of see how the ground right here is clear, and here you can kind of see that's clear over there, not because of the people clearing out from the campsite. That's because the water washes down and then it kind of hits a high point and builds up there, and then it all runs down right here and goes straight towards where I park. So let's flip it back here. Yeah. So yeah, I was out here one time when it quite came a heavy downpour, and I just literally had basically a little creek going right down the middle of my campsite here. But the ground here is mostly sand. So the nice thing about it, you know, hour after it quit raining, it's dry. You know. But I see we got still got the guys on the road. It's Ozark Great Adventures and 210 Outdoors. Those guys just got back from, or are on their way back from meetup in Pennsylvania at Knoble's Amusement Park. And I really wished I could have gone with them, man. That looked like they had them a good old time. But then again, after seeing all the beautiful sights and the fishing that they got to do, and skipping rocks and slinging and things like that, there's just not much of that around here where I'm at. So maybe I need to move to Missouri or somewhere around Arkansas. Of course, I used to live in Fort Smith, Arkansas, so kind of familiar with that area. Turn the camera down. Covered up with the chat. Gotcha. That better? That help? I got a little bit of a ducktail going on here. I've been out chopping wood, knocked my hat off, and then just kind of slopped it on. Much gooder. There you go. But yeah, did some wood chopping. Thought about doing some making some the fire starters with the wax. Yeah, Matt, I'm at my same usual spot. I love this place because uh, it being a pine forest, you get all the fat wood you want. Uh, the nice thing about this campground, which a lot of campgrounds I've been to before, they don't want you going and cutting any wood down or wood in the area because they're afraid everybody's just going to start cutting the trees down. But uh, it actually kind of helps the park guys here to kind of keep down the rubble around the campground. That way, if there's any fire danger, it's, you know, there's not much for it to burn up. And they just did a controlled burn up the road here. They did a huge area, and they said they're going to do even more off back. Uh, let's see, that's going to be southwest of me here. Yeah, come on over. Yeah, I'd love to live out there, but you know, finding work. You know, my original plan. I'm here in Illinois, and my original plan was to come here for a little while, uh, and then move back to, you know, like the Arkansas area to be closer to my brothers. I got one in Kansas City and one in around Springdale, Arkansas. So that was my original plan, but who knows? Yeah, but you know, it would be kind of hard too to leave this uh, area just because of this place I go camping. It's just so ideal. Yeah, it is in the middle. You're right, but yeah, I'm not sure how the cost of living is there. I'd have to look into that. Of course, Randy, you know, about the time I move there, you'll end up moving to like you was talking about, to the Arkansas area. Oh, that's Matt. That's where my brother lives. He was out in California, and he he moved there. That'll put us all closer together. But then again, my folks here in Illinois, and put me further away from them, so it's kind of a toss up. Yeah, Springfield wouldn't be too far away from the Springdale area, but the Springdale area is expensive. It's very expensive. I mean, I lived in uh, Fort Smith. Uh, Spent a lot of my life there, actually. Born and raised here, but uh, once I was about, I think we moved away when I was about 13, and then I didn't move out of uh, Arkansas until I was about 29, something like that. So spent a lot of time in the South, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi area. Yeah, like I said, man, it's kind of, you know, getting kind of stuck in my craw just a little bit. That, you know, maybe you know, for the things I like to do, you know, the outdoor things, and the fact that, you know, there's nobody around here to do anything with. Uh, you know, I mean, it even shows. You know, you might think that uh, because, you know, just because I don't, you know, have anybody, you know, that I'm friends with or whatever in this area, that there aren't people that are out there doing the kind of stuff I like to do, which there are. You know, I meet some of the people that, you know, at the camp, but you can tell by, you know, like Facebook Marketplace, you can tell by, uh, you know, the garage sales and things like that when you're looking for, uh, say, some camping gear or something like that. It just isn't hardly any of it. And the stuff that is there is, it's coming from what I call the one-time Walmart campers, where they go out, they spend, a couple $100 at least on camping gear. Um, then they go to, Bass Pro Shop and pick up a few more things or whatever, and then they go out camping, and come Monday, Tuesday, their gear is up for sale. Oh, we used it one time. Let's see. And the Mark Twain National Forest surrounding. It's free camping, cooking, hunting, fishing, hiking, etc. 24/7. Yeah. Uh, when I came to uh, the meetup with you guys, I was kind of, it wasn't quite what I expected. I was expecting maybe a little bit more of a, not quite as remote. And, then, when I was driving in and, saw on the side of the road, somebody had like a log cabin style house that they were living out of. And, you know, first thing crossed my mind was wrong turn. And, you know, once I got there and saw it, I saw the lake, the creek or creek, yeah, I guess I'd call it a creek. I never did get the definitions of them down. The creek was something you could hop over. A creek is something you could wade across. That kind of stuff. But I thought the country there is absolutely beautiful. It's mountain-esque, which is something I like. I did spend quite a while out in Colorado. Loved that. I mean, my drive to work every day, I lived on the Front Range, but uh, that was, you know, 5 miles to the mountains. So, I see them every day. My drive to and from work in the mornings, you know, driving with the sun rising, and in the evening, I'm driving with the sun going down. But yeah, you know, it was absolutely beautiful. Um, it it's if I did something like that, I'd probably be making videos every day that I could go out and do it. Creek had water, a creek was in the neck. Yep. Yeah. Well, it all depends on what part of the country you hail from. I mean, you know, slang that people use, just it absolutely fascinates me. I remember as a kid when I first moved to Arkansas, uh, was outside playing a little bit of football with some friends, and they had a Nerf football. We were just passing it around. One of the guys hollers out, "Chunk it here," and I'm looking at the football and chunk it. Where I come from, chunk means you take a piece out of it, chunk. And I was like, "You don't want me tearing up your Nerf football, do you?" He says, "No, it means throw it here." So there it went. But yeah, and that was, like I said, I, I like Arkansas. Um, Fort Smith is, you know, where I spent a lot of time. Nice thing about it is, right next to it, you got Fort Chaffee, so you got tons of places to go hunting, tons of places to go fishing, tons of places, that you can go up in the national forest area. It's not too far away, and there's good fishing and everything. But I don't know. Missouri kind of made me rethink things. Yeah, time for a little beverage. Case they're watching, shameless uh, promotion there. I don't think I'll ever get them to promote me, but and just so you guys know, I do have my see my flags there. Got one there, and then I got another one up right over here in the other corner. But I did the right thing. They're up under cover in case it rains. They will not get rained on. Do I have a job where I live? Right now, I do not. I got laid off back in uh, well, it was Labor Day weekend last year at the end of August, which was kind of a bum deal. I came into work on a Thursday night, uh, getting ready to have a nice holiday weekend, and that's when they dropped the axe. And said, "Oh, we've been slowing down." So, and I've been looking. Uh, the older you get, the harder it is to look. Find a job that you know they're getting to where you know I do I can do warehouse work. I was a production lead at a plastic mold injection company. Um, I spent 29 years in IT, and it's not something I want to go back to because it's just getting to where you know it almost feels like at some point, if you are an IT company and you are recommending to a customer, oh, this this will protect your company from viruses and hacks and things like that, and then they get hacked, and then they're like, "Well, you sold us this. Shouldn't that take care of it?" And that didn't stop your employees from opening the emails that they didn't know where they came from. So, and I kind of got to feeling like, at some point, these people were gonna start going after the IT companies because they're getting hacked and they're being sold equipment that's not protecting them. So I just didn't want to be in the middle of that mess. And even, doing just repair work on my own, you know, I did it for many years. I did computer repairs, and, a lot of people just, especially when people find out you do it, they're like, "Oh, well, can you do this for me?" And then you say, "Yeah, I do it for such and such an hour." "Oh, I'm your friend. Shouldn't I get it for free?" So, but yeah, like I said, I was a lead in a production, and I trained uh, my staff or my team. I had probably anywhere from times where we had, 5 operators on up to, I think at one point we were up to about 20 operators. And I did forklift. Uh, I was a forklift trainer for the shift. Uh, you know, I'm not opposed to the manual labor, but when they start putting in the job descriptions that, must be able to lift 100 pounds on a continuous basis, you know, not spring chicken anymore. And to me, asking somebody to lift 100 pounds on a continuous basis is a bit tough. I mean, you know, hey, look at the, people in the olden days, they didn't have forklifts and things like that. So, yeah, they had to do heavy lifting like that. But, you know, we're a different age. And if I could find a boss like Randy's, I'd be a happy man. That's one cool boss you got there, Randy. All right, well, folks, I just wanted to come do a little bit of live streaming here and show you what my purple rain looks like. Um, but like I said, and they haven't been too terribly bad, except for the first day they got here. So it's all good. And I got, like I said, one more night here. Uh, supposed to rain a little later this evening, I think. That's why I've got my wood up under the tarp here. I think it was supposed to rain a little bit around 5:30, something like that, and then not until I think around 11ish, and then again at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So it should be okay. Yes, Nancy. Wanted to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day, and for those of you that have uh, provided service to the country, let you know I appreciate that. But uh, Memorial Day is, remembering those that are not with us, you know, that they made sacrifices for this country, and I think that's very admirable. So, wanted to say God bless you all. Thank you for watching, and you guys keep an eye out. I believe probably the boys, the Ozark boys, they're headed uh, back home are going to do a live uh, when they get to the hotel. So you guys be watching out for that. And maybe they'll tell us a little more about their adventures. So looks like they had an awesome time. Thanks for watching. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless you all. And remember, be kind to each other.